form, I was teaching in Community 5 Primary. And then, after being called to the bar, I did a second one at the Ghana Armed Forces. After that, I got married. I have 3 kids now. I'm divorced presently. I'm a Christian.
Can she tell us about her public life? Your role in public life. You used to be one of our leaders, shared as parliamentary committees you have worked with. In what capacity?
I became a member of parliament in my West constituency from 2009 to 2017. I used to be on the committee Gender and Children, Forestry, Roads and Transport, the House Committee, Foreign Affairs Committee. I was in the leadership. I was specifically the first deputy minority whip. And then after that, I'm here before you, asking for your nod for me to be the administrator of the Common Fund.
Okay, very well. We'll start the discussion. We will continue as we did with the Chief Justice last Friday. If you have questions on the CD, it is part of the questions available to you. So we'll start with Honorable Leader of the National Assembly.
Thank you, Minister. Some people are making noise. I can't ask the question. Thank you. And the chairman said we shouldn't congratulate you on your nomination, so I haven't done so. Because he has already done so on our behalf. I want to find out from you. The Common Fund is being distributed to all assemblies in this country. If we are able to pass the municipal fund, the municipal finance bill, do you think that big assemblies like AMA, no, DMA is still slightly small, should continue to receive more funds?
If the municipal bond comes through, I still think they should receive something. Should we decide to wean them off, it can't be abrupt. It has to be done gradually. That's what we decide to do. This is because the municipal bond is like a loan, and you pay interest. And you would want to make sure that you're doing the kind of activities that will bring you some interest to be able to pay for it. It will be difficult for some of them to build 6 classroom blocks and certain things that they don't get any interest from at all by using the municipal bond. So I even think that if we think strictly that they're big enough to be able to do and take care of themselves, I still think we should wean them off gradually, making sure that they would continue to do developmental programs. Otherwise, there could be leads or a collapse in some of these programs. Thank you.
You know that there are other revenue sources for assemblies. Can you tell the committee what those other sources
are? I know that there's a GOG, that's the government of Ghana. The monies that are paid for salary. There is their own IGFs, they are internally generated funds. There's one that is called DDF, the District Development Fund. There is UDG, I think the Urban Development Grant. There are other World Bank donor funds, and some funds that at any time the government wants to give to Assembly is always available to Assembly. Thank you.
We currently have 216 assemblies. District assemblies. No, I don't mean MMDA, but I don't mean when I say assembly, I'm not saying assembly support. I'm saying MMDA. Do you think that we should continue to create more, or we should merge some?
Mr. Chairman, in creating a district, certain things are considered, like the population. If it's a district, there should be more than 75,000 people. If it's municipal, more than 95,000. And if it's metropolitan, more than 250,000. So if that criteria is available, one can be created. Also, if the geographical space allows it, that can also be done. As well as
this
if
one, the
area can prove that it can provide some economic ventures like basic needs, I think that all of that can be done. The question as to whether I think more should be created. You see, districts have monetary requirements as well. That is why it's the sole mandate of the president, who has the advice of finance, to be able to do that. And I really think it's his sole prerogative. Thank you.
Now, you have been a member of Parliament, and you know that there's always a problem about how members of Parliament access their portions of the common finance, okay, and which is held by the District Assembly. Now, this problem is always between chief executives who want to take over from you and them. Do you have any ideas as to how this can be minimized if we approve you to become administrator?
Mr. Chairman, if you approve me as administrator, I will collaborate with Parliament to make sure that this problem is solved. This actually is in the ambit of the minister or the ministers for local government. But because I have a little bit of supervisory roles to play on the DACF funds, I am required by law to write a report on how the funds are being utilized. And that is awarded to the members of Parliament. So if DCs or anybody is not allowing you to access your funds in any way, I'm going to write that report and I'm going to put up some sanctions. I'm only hoping that Parliament will be strong enough to push whatever sanctions I put across. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, talking and distracting my attention. I'm very serious. Now, if you look at the common fund, the formula that is developed has criteria set out. Are you conversant with what criteria is used in developing the formula and how these can be done from time to time and not just a fixed situation?
In proposing the formula to Parliament, there are 4 criteria that the administrator must use. That's the needs factor, looking at what needs the area has and what they need, like education, health, roads, water. You look at all of that. And then you determine those who have more, you give them less. Those who have less, you give them more. Then there's the service pressure. You look at migration, maybe rural, urban migration. You look at where there's a lot of migration, people are going there, utilities are being used over there, you give them more than where there's less. Then there's the quality factor, where everybody gets a base. We're all equal. Then there's the responsive factor. That one has to do with the amount of IGF that is collected by the district. It's part of the DACF. It's supposed to be supplementary, that's the DACF. So it's important that the districts collect enough IGF to supplement it. And as a way of rewarding those who do well, we look at the percentages, and those who have done well, we give them more. Thank you.
Honorable Asha, Barbara, I see Asha.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, and congratulations, Madam Naa Torshie Addo. We are so proud of you as a woman for your achievement. I want to find out from you what you intend to do to ensure that people with disability are adequately covered or receive their monies from the district. Thank you.
The people with disability have had a lot of problems in accessing their monies from the district. With your permission, if I'm giving the nod, I think I'd like to collaborate with Parliament again on that. If we can try and do it like the LEAP system, where we make sure that all the districts get everybody registered, they have accounts. We want the councils to make sure, go around, monitor, and make sure that they do get the money, instead of just leaving it with the district, and then maybe they take pictures of 3 or 4 people and say they've distributed it. I think we're going to do it like the LEAP system. And my office, if you give me the nod, would supervise it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I want to find out, do you have intentions of helping those in the rural areas with regards to funds? Let me take it again. How are you going to give more funds to rural districts who are not able to raise enough funds for themselves? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I don't know if I have the capacity or the power to do that, but what I can do is to encourage them to assess some of the funds that are available. For example, the DDF is available to the districts, rural or what, it's available. There's just some laid down procedures, keeping good books, having regular meetings. It's very simple, and I think I'm going to just help them, advise them to try and go by the formula so that they can get some other money. If I can advise them to hire some consultants or people who know much about their area, so that they can find out ways that they can do business in their areas. I believe everybody has something to offer. I don't believe in people saying this district, there's no economic development there, so we can't make any IGF. And then I'm going to also lobby the members of Parliament to lead this venture to make sure that their districts are well developed and they have money. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
For being paid, I guess, has to do with full-time employment and some kind of scope. I don't know about payment and whether the government is ready to do that. But what I believe in is that they ought to be given some allowance. Some of them do very well, very, very well. Some of them even take it on as a full-time project. And if you ask me, with my experience of having been a member of Parliament, I think if we had dedicated assembly people who were working in the area, looking for what is wrong and right, channeling into the assembly, having time for the assembly, it would really work. So if we can't pay them a salary, we should give them enough allowances to keep them going. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Honourable Member for Boko Central.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Let me also use this opportunity to congratulate you for your nomination by the President for approval by this House. I have no doubt that, given your background as a former member of Parliament, we parliamentarians will not have issues in relation to the administration of the Common Fund. But there are a number of key issues that I want to bring to your attention and seek your opinion on how you will address those issues. There are complaints that for many of the assemblies, a lot of the funds remain in Accra. It doesn't really get to the ground. Are you aware? You've been acting for a while now. Have you perused through the records? Do you have a sense of what proportions remain in Accra? What do they normally use those funds for? And if you're aware, would you insist during your tenure that the funds get to the districts and let them spend it there? Your office is not the one to be running their accounts for them. Formula is approved for them by Parliament. Yours is to distribute according to the formula. Will you insist?
Mr. Chairman, I'm not aware that monies remain in Accra. I'm not aware of that. If the question is about deductions, is that what it is? Oh, okay. I wasn't aware that it was Accra because it could be paid anywhere else. But what we do is that all the districts give us their bank accounts and we send the money there. It's been my understanding that there was an arrangement between them and some private sector people to perform some activities on their behalf, some of it being sanitation, fumigation, and all of that. And I think that is the arrangement that had some kind of deductions. But if you give me the nod, I promise I'll look into it. I'll bring it to Parliament, to the committee, and with my minister, we'll do something about it. Thank you.
Have to pay from Accra. She clearly shows that she knows about some arrangements, and so it is legitimate to find out as a follow-up what kind of arrangements are those, how were those arrangements arrived at, and why would the payments be affected from Accra?
Honorable member for Boko Central, she has not approved any arrangements yet, and she would not have any power to do any such thing. So she'll give you information she inherited or she has seen from the records. I'll suggest that you ask another question. When we swear her in, then you can go back and get all the records from her.
Chairman. Thank you, Chairman. I asked as a follow-up because when I asked, she actually corrected me and showed that she is already very proficient in terms of the facts at the organization. And I built my follow-up question on that. But my last question, the whole idea is to strengthen the financial capacity of assemblies. And to do that, we also need to look at issues of accountability. How would you assist local people to hold their assemblies accountable for the ways that they utilize the funds? I noticed that each time that an allocation is made, as a member of Parliament for the place, a letter is sent to us, but how they spend it, we may not know unless we are very active in our assemblies. But as the administrator, how would you help local people, chiefs, community leaders, apart from the assemblymen, to hold the assemblies accountable for the monies that you send there for them to utilize?
Mr. Speaker, one of the functions of the administrator is to report to Parliament on the activities the DACF was used for by the assemblies. And that is exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to report how much each assembly is getting and what activities that it was used for. And I hope that members of Parliament will take up the matter, since they speak for their people, and make sure that the chiefs and the rest of them get to know about it. Thank you.
Congratulations. I wish you well in your new role. Obi,
Honorable Biamo, no question. Jato.
Come on, Obi of all people, you don't have a question. Obi Amwa, no question. Congratulations. You fear conflict of interest.
Congratulations, Honorable Torshie. Per the directive of the DDF, the less performing districts are supposed to be given some training. What is your plan to make sure that those districts that are not performing are given some training so at least they can come?
If I understand the question well, you're talking about training. I think training is under the purview of the local government ministry, specifically local government services. But the best I can do is to encourage each district, whenever I go monitoring, to encourage them to make sure that they take their training seriously. Thank you.
The second one has to do with the disability fund. When I was a DC, we used some even for surgery, cataract surgery, because some have serious problems, and if you don't prevent it, they become disabled. So we use some of the money, but those disabled people to prevent disability, but those disabled people on the ground think that the money should be given to them, to be shared to them. What is your view on this? Will you encourage that at least we use some of these things, so some of these funds, the DC use some of these funds to reduce disability?
Mr. Chairman, the Disability Fund, amongst others, is used to create awareness. A part of it can be used by their councils and all that to create awareness of their existence and how to make sure to mitigate all the factors that lead to their disability and all of that. So if through that you have surgeries, that's fine. We do, you can use it also for skills training. You can use it, a little part of it, for capital investments. Let's say you want to give some of them some money to trade or you buy equipment, a bit of them. But it's not, as people call it, chop, just to give it to them straight. No. We're supposed to set them up in a way so that they can also go on and fend for themselves. Thank you.
Honorable Jato, are you all right? Okay. Honorable hello.
Debbie. Okay, thank you very much, Chairman, and congratulations, our sister. As said already, we know you are capable of carrying out the assignments that would be given to you. I've been wondering about how the 1 million one district and one constituency and 1 million cedis. Sorry, $1 million. Forgive me. Today I want to bring it down a little bit. Would that affect the formula for the common fund? Because this is an additional money coming to the district. What do you think about that?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Immediately or directly, it would not affect the formula. But as time goes on, it could affect the formula. In that, when you look at basic needs, the districts that have more schools and hospitals and all that are given less. And those who don't have more are given more. So with the coming in of this money, if people build more schools, hospitals and all that, they get less of the DACF. But that's not to say they shouldn't build more schools. It could affect it long term. Thank you.
Okay, just to wish you the best in your new endeavor. Thank you.
On the majority side, who wants to ask a question now? Majority side. Yes, Honorable.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Congratulations, Honorable. I will extend my congratulations because I'm the chair of the local government. So, anyway, sorry. Honorable, I'd like to solicit your view about it. Since this is the first time of vetting an administrator, a common fund administrator, I would like to solicit your view of what you feel about you being vetted, because I think your job is a straightforward job, and I think I have a different view. So if you can give me your view about why you should be vetted. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is not the first time that a common fund administrator has been vetted. Indeed, Mr. Nokol is in the room here. He was vetted. And Mr. Kojofin was also vetted. It is in the Constitution of Ghana. It's in both acts that the president nominates. The final one says in consultation with the Council of State and approval from Parliament. So they've always been vetted. I think the main thing about it, if you look at it in terms of other funds, is the fact that you don't have a board. The common fund, we don't have a board. And the relationship between the fund and the ministry is like what you have with maybe Bank of Ghana and Finance. You're a bit independent, though your supervisory ministry is local government. I wouldn't say you have a discretion, but you're working independently. So it's important that Parliament approves the person, just like you would approve a minister, to make sure that where there are emergencies or contingencies, where there should be an exercise of discretion, the person is capable. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable, I want to find out that given the opportunity, how would you ensure, is there any initiative you can come up with to ensure that the MMDAs can improve on their IG funds? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The issue of IGF, I think the main thing is about monitoring and evaluation. The second is about transparency and accountability. The MMDAs have to be transparent to the people there so that they know what they're using their monies for, so that people feel free to pay for the rates that they are charged. Because it looks like a lot of people don't want to pay anything. When I was member of parliament, people asked me why they should pay TMA any money if they can't, the roads are not good, the light is not good. I think they should rather go more to the people, explain to them, let them know the cost of everything so that they don't think that they have so much money. They should tighten their ropes a bit. People have said that there's a lot of fraud and all that in the assemblies. So they should make sure that they are monitoring all of that. If they can engage consultants to find out how they can actually make more money in their districts, if they can take opportunity with this one district, one factory, 1 million, one constituency, they can be able to bring factories or some economic viability into their constituencies. They cannot engage directly, but if they're able to lobby and all these things come in, they can collect more taxes in terms of IGF. Thank you.
Thank you. My last question, Honorable, is to find out from you whether there's any way that you can help to ensure that releases of funds are done in a timely manner. Thank you.
I think what I'm going to do about that is to lobby
is to lobby the finance minister and keep on pushing or advising my minister to be lobbying. That's what we've been doing all the time. I'm always calling her about to call the controller, call this, call that. So I'm going to do a lot of lobby work, and I'm going to involve Parliament, Finance Committee, Local Government Committee, leadership. I think I'll be knocking on your doors. You have to help, if you give me the nod, to make sure the money come in and the right amounts come in. That's very important. Thank you.
Honorable Nilante van der Poel.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Congratulations, my sister. The nominee is actually my cousin, so I have to make sure she excels. Let me first ask you, who is the Common Fund Administrator and what are his or her responsibilities?
Mr. Chairman, Article 252 of the Constitution has set up a fund to be used to distribute, to develop all the districts. Is to provide resources to the local authorities under the concept of decentralization. And the fund manager is the administrator. The functions in the Constitution are four main ones. One, to propose a formula to be approved by Parliament for the sharing of the money. Two, after the formula has been approved by Parliament, to make sure it's distributed to all the districts. Three, to report in writing to Parliament on the activities or how those monies were used by the Assembly. And four, any other activity that the President deems fit to let the administrator take. Thank you.
My second question has to do with new district assemblies. Newly established assemblies have found it difficult to really stand on their feet due to delays in releases. What are you going to do differently to make sure these assemblies do not suffer any more injury in establishing themselves and be able to deliver on their mandate to the people within their jurisdiction?
Mr. Chairman, actually, I think the delays is to everybody, to all the districts, but maybe so because the new districts. We have provided seed capital, or it's part of what Common Fund does to give them a building, but that's about it. Talking about what I would do to make sure that the releases, I intend, amongst other things, to lobby Parliament on that. I have some proposals that I intend to bring to Parliament. For example, I'm looking at a system where Parliament would allow me, if I'm given the nod, to borrow money from banks, if not all of it, part of it. Once Parliament has already given me that's if I'm given the nod. Once we already have the power to be able to invest some or part of the money for it to accrue some interest, I am looking at, with the permission of my minister, bringing certain proposals like this to Parliament to find out whether or not in certain circumstances, not all of it, part of it, just to keep the timelines so that there's no disappointment, so that they can plan and manage their areas, especially new ones like you're talking about. I'm thinking of innovative things like that, maybe being allowed at certain times to borrow money for them and then pay when the fund comes in. Thank you.
Last one. The constitutional provision, Article 252.2, talk about not less than 5% of all government revenue paid to the common fund to be distributed to district assemblies. Research have shown that in past, most of the time this is not met. And the assemblies and MPs especially do not get what they are supposed to get by this law. What are you going to do to make sure that this constitutional provision is strictly adhered to make sure that assemblies get what they deserve and MPs get what they deserve?
Mr. Chairman, I'm going to work with Parliament on that. I think that there has to be a body, a committee, local government, finance, civil society, NGOs. I think the first thing is we need always to determine how much should have come into the common fund, whether 5%, 7.5%. At each particular point, we need to determine that, and we need to fight for that. While I was a member of Parliament, I never had a question, anybody asking the finance minister whether what he ever paid DACF was 5%. So they just took what they got, and you'd realize they never got even 5%. I'm going to lobby members of Parliament on that, send you information on what I get, what I think is the percentage, and ask you to find means through consultation, question answering, whatever it is. I will liaise with my minister and make sure that I get some of you working on that. Thank you.
Honourable nominee, this is crucial. Parliament decides that the Finance Ministry should give the fund 7%. And over the years, they've not even been giving 5%. I see. I'm not sure that this report has been formally made to the House, but it's a matter we should take very seriously, and we urge you to provide the data, maybe for the past 5 years, to persuade us that indeed that is the case. Then we will stand by and ensure that the Finance Ministry refunds the difference. Yeah. Kindly continue if you are not done. You are done. All right. Majority side, anybody else? Ni Kwate Tatos Glover, you just came. Are you ready? Please go ahead.
Is it tema solidarity?
This is solidarity, of course.
Chama, he just came.
Oh, leader, why? Thank you for the opportunity. Congratulations, leader. It is my firm belief that this confidence reposed in you by the President, you will discharge it with the love and the passion I've known you for. In wishing you well, I want to ask you 2 questions. The first one was what I shared with the local government minister when she appeared before this committee, and it's regards to the common fund before it is paid to the assemblies and MPs. You have sanitation money deducted, HIV money is deducted. It has been answered already. I'm sorry. Chairman's mind is Leader, your background as a lawyer, as a former diplomat, a former member of this House, and a leader, gives you a very rich experience to the office you occupy now. Can you share with us what will you do to bring all these rich experiences that you've gathered to the Common Fund Administrator's office? I know you will succeed, but can you dance around and tell us, but she will succeed?
Mr. Chairman, thank you for that compliment, though. I was a practicing lawyer in Ekufu-Addo Prempeh & Co. and then Zoya Chen & Co. I guess with law, find ways of getting answers to questions and debates and all that. I was Deputy Ambassador of Ghana to Washington, D.C., diplomatic rules get into it. I was a member of parliament for 8 years, managed people, represented people, and all that. I think I can bring all of that to the DACF. The DACF looks like a simple office, but it looks like it needs a lot of lobbying. You need to lobby to make sure you get your funds, and then you need to help some of the MMDs to get onto their feet. Having been a member of parliament, I was a member of my assembly. So I think I know most of their needs, the problems, what they go through. And with that experience, I think I can help them stand on their feet. Thank you.
I'm done, Mr. Chairman.
Honorable Suhini.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, just for direction, how many questions?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Congratulations, Honorable Naa Torshie. You attempted a question that was put to you earlier, and I would like to follow up on it. It has to do with the deductions that are done for fumigation, for sanitation, and all of that. Now, does the District Assembly's Common Fund Secretariat have the contracts, covering the various deductions, and you independently confirm if these people that they claim they have recruited are actually on the ground working?
Mr. Chairman, I must say that I had heard about them, but I haven't seen the contracts yet. If you give me the nod, I will look into it, and if you need a report done to Parliament, especially on that, I'll do one for my minister to bring to Parliament. Thank you.
Okay, so generally on what you have heard, what are some of the things that you plan to change?
Honourable Member, the witness can only speak to what she knows and can verify, please.
That's fine. Now, the District Assembly's Common Fund, it's a big fund. You're talking about almost $500 million Ghana cedis or more, and you'll be managing that. What experience do you have in managing funds?
Mr. Chairman, thank you for the question. I don't know whether the word, you'll be managing it, yes. But you see, with Parliament, you propose a formula and you bring it to Parliament, and they have all the expertise in Parliament, the finance, the development agents, and they allocate those funds. They tell you what to do with what, or they approve what you've brought. So when I go back, I just distribute what you have approved. Then I do a report on whether they also used it as you approved. Then I come back to you. Thank you, sir.
Have you looked at the security of tenure for this office as provided for by the Act? And are you satisfied that you have some guarantee to perform your duties?
Mr. Chairman, I believe it's 4 years, and you may be reappointed for another 4 years if the President deems it fit. Thank you. And whether or not I have the capacity, I think so, but I think you are the final person to say if I do. Thank you.
Right. So I ask because I know that, for example, you can either resign or your president can request for your resignation or remove you from office for just cause. And I ask so that at least you put your mind to it. They say that when you are undertaking a journey, you need to ask those who have been on that journey and see what has befallen them so that you take caution. But, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chairman, maybe finally, and I hope you will take this the right way, and many people who are also watching will take it the right way. It is a fund. It involves the handling of money. And so
the question I'm about to ask you is based on something I saw somewhere written about you. And it will be important for you to clarify it so that at least the people of Ghana will know that our fund is safe. Do you have, and maybe your answer will determine if you have to provide more information on it. Do you own any property at Maryland, USA?
Mrs. Chairman, yes, I do own property in Maryland, USA. Thank you.
Again, like I said, I hope we will take this well. There is an allegation that you acquired that property under some circumstances. They talked about, and this is not personal. This is not personal. You are going to manage Ghana's money, and so it's important.
Please allow me to listen.
So you clarify this matter, and we all know. You are said to have acquired it at some ridiculous amount, and you paid in cash. Are you aware? Has this allegation come to your attention, and how did you deal with it, if it has ever come to your attention?
I don't remember. Hold on. Are you alleging any misconduct on her part?
Straightforward attack like that.
Okay.
Alleging any misconduct on her part.
What I am drawing her attention to is a publication that alleges misconduct on her part in the acquisition of this property. And I just hope that she will clarify it, that's all.
I don't know what publication you're talking about. It is not before the committee. It is our practice here that if there's any such thing, the committee will review it. It is worth putting it out, we do it. Otherwise, as for publications, even yesterday, only yesterday, it is alleged that I have said people are narrow-minded when I never said any such thing. You know, so as for publications, unless they can be verified, I would like us to get the information.
That's all right. I just think that
she wants to comment on that if she's willing.
That's fine.
For the records, I'm not sure what kind of misconduct you're talking about, but I acquired it when I was in opposition as a member of parliament. I didn't have any government job I was doing. I was in opposition 2010. I had come before Parliament to ask for the right to practice. I was a practicing lawyer. I filed my taxes. I did everything. So unless you can tell me what the misconduct, because I wasn't the manager of any fund. Neither was I a minister. In 2010, I was in opposition. So with the greatest of respect, and for the records, as far as I know, there's been no misconduct, but I'm ready.
I just want you to affirm that you acquired it lawfully.
Lawfully, yes.
That's it.
I'm sure that this will help her record also. I'm sure this will help her record also, especially in relation to the first publication that is online. If she gets her response to also be published online, I think it will help her so that nobody, when they Google...
Remember, have you finished with your questions?
Yes, I'm done, but I'm just saying...
As for the commentary, let's discuss it when we are done.
Okay, so thank you very much. Mr. Chairman, now my last question, if I still have time. If I still have time. Thank you. Now, I will end on the note that I started. Is it fair to charge all assemblies equally for sanitation when we have bigger sanitation challenges and when some have bigger sanitation challenges than others?
Mr. Chairman, I'm not sure how the charges are done. When you give me the nod, I'll look at all of that and let you know. I don't believe that the charges or deductions will be the same, but I may be wrong. But I'll get back to you in Parliament if you want that information. Thank you, sir.
I really wish you well. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
First, majority side. Majority side, okay. I'll give the last one to Eric and I'll come to leadership.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Former leader, I want to ask you, I want the house to be quiet. Mr. Chairman, I want to be heard. So if the house can be a bit quiet so that
Honorable Puku, you're being heard loud and clear. Go ahead.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, my question is about the people with disabilities. People with disabilities. You have responded to 2 questions about these people. The first one, you were sharing some brilliant ideas as to what you intend doing to be able to ensure that they are better served. And you stated that you do something akin to or similar to the LEAP. And then when you were responding to the second question, you said that the allocation to people with disability is not for chop-chop. But I think that the LEAP is for chop-chop. So how do you reconcile the 2 statements?
Mr. Chairman, if you give me the nod, I think what I wanted to say was that those who would be beneficiaries, they would have to do it like the LEAP system, where they open accounts and they give it to them. If it's about, you have to go for studies, or if they have to help you to start your business or that kind of thing, we want to be able to trace all the monies. So I likened it to the LEAP, where it's put in an account so that we can all trace it. Thank you, sir.
But under the Disability Act, we have some structures in place. We have the Disability Fund Management Committees at the various districts. Now, if you take the accounts and you pay as they do under LEAP from Accra, what happens to these structures?
Mr. Chairman, I don't want you to get me wrong. I'm not saying...
hold on. Which structures are you talking about here? You're talking about the fund that is created under the Disability Act, and is the common fund a source of revenue to that account?
No.
No, it is not. So, very well. As for the
source. I'm talking about the percentage of the common fund that is allocated to the assemblies for people with disabilities. At the district level, they have disability fund management committees at the districts. They manage the fund at that level. So now if you take the accounts and then you pay like they do under LEAP, they have the accounts in Accra here and they pay into the various accounts. But at the district level, when the money gets to the district, it is managed by the committee. So if you are paying from the center, what
that is different from the disability fund, and that's what I wanted to be clear.
Mr. Chairman, I'm not going to manage the disability fund from Accra. I'm talking about advising the MCs, the DCs, to take that approach so that when I go to supervise to find out how they use the money, then I can track it from their accounts. Instead of them telling me, we gave this, gave that, and sometimes you can't even find the person. I'd rather it went into accounts. However, I see that a lot of members of parliament are worried about this particular fund. So I think I'll discuss with Minister, and we'll bring it back to parliament, to the committees, various committees, for you to share ideas on how you want us to manage the disability fund. Thank you, at the districts.
Very well. Honorable Samson, he wants to make a comment. I know why he wants to.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman. Oh, Napo, please. Mr. Chairman, just to acknowledge the fact that when I was the chairman for Gender and Children Committee, the nominee was the ranking member. And we worked together very, very well. Yes. And I know her capabilities. And I know very well that she'll be able to perform if we approve her. My only question to her is to find out whether in disbursing the contingency fund under the common fund formula, she will consider newly created districts like Bodi, where the Assemblies struggle to mobilize IGF, so that she gives preference to such districts.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, clarification of the question. Was he talking about the reserve fund?
Yes.
The reserve fund, the president directs the administrator on the use of the reserve funds. So I don't use it that way. But I'm sure if you put in an application, I could take you to the president. And because of the good relations, I believe you're going to give me the nod. I'll lobby for Bodi. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, in view of the fact that it's the president who directs how the reserve fund is be used, would you recommend to His Excellency to consider newly created districts? I have not.
Mr. Chairman, I would recommend to the president on your request, and in particular Bodi, if the MC or the DC is watching me, I'm going to keep a particular eye with the help of my Minister Haji Alima on Bodi. Thank you.
Honorable Samson, you are taking advantage of this committee. Now you got the Chief Justice to promise to give a court to Bodi. Now you have got that you said that to promise to pay attention. Very well. Now, okay. Now leadership. Honorable Chief Whip. Honorable Dr. Prempe says he has no question.
Well, Mr. Chairman, let me say, Honorable Naa Torshie was with us in the leadership. She was one of the 13 member leadership of 2013 to 2016, and she was a very tough deputy whip. You cannot avoid not to notice her in the leadership. I congratulate her. But Mr. Chairman, I just want to make some preliminary comments before I ask my questions. Mr. Chairman, when you look at the appointment of the Administrator of Common Fund, it is under Article 252 of the 1992 Constitution and also the Local Government Act, Section 127. And Mr. Chairman, with your permission, I will just read this. 1272. It says that the administration, it just said, sorry, 1281. The office of the administrator, appointment of the District Assembly Common Fund Administrator. The President shall, acting in consultation with the Council of State and with the approval of Parliament, appoint a District Assembly Common Fund Administrator. It says, too, the administrator shall hold office for 4 years. My emphasis, 4 years, and is eligible for reappointment. I will just move to 1282 or even 1281 and 2. It says, the office of the administrator becomes vacant where the administrator, A, resigns from office in writing addressed to the President, B, is removed from office, or C, dies. 2 says that the President, acting in consultation with the Council of State, may remove the administrator from office for a just cause. When you look at our Constitution, if you go to Article 296, it says that where in this Constitution and in any other law, discretionary powers is vested in any person or authority, it says, A, that discretionary power shall be deemed to imply a duty to be fair and candid.
And B, the exercise of the discretionary power shall not be arbitrary, capricious, or biased, either by resentment, prejudice, or personal dislike, and shall be in accordance with due process of law. Mr. Chairman, having said this, I hold a letter that says appointment of administrator of the District Assemblies Common Fund. Pursuant to Section 5(1) and 2 of the District Assembly Common Fund Act 1993, Act 455, I'm pleased to inform you. Oh, sorry, this is not what I wanted to read. The one that I wanted to read. Oh, you just appointment of a new administrator of the District Assembly Common Fund. I have terminated the appointment of Mr. Kojo Finn as the administrator of the District Assembly Common Fund effective 1st June 2017 in accordance with Article 2524 of the Constitution and in consultation with the Council of State. I wish to inform you that I have nominated Naa Torshie Addo for approval by Parliament as administrator of the District Assembly Common Fund. Mr. Chairman, this is where my interest is. I said I was making comment before I asked my questions. Mr. Finn was appointed as administrator in 2005. His renewal came 1st April 2015, and the expiry was supposed to be. No, I'm saying the expiry. The first one was on 8th of April 2011. And then the second reassignment was 1st April 2015. And it was to expire on 30th April 2019. Now, this was the letter that was sent to him on 5th April 2017. Notice to proceed on indefinite leave. The President has directed that you proceed on indefinite leave beginning Monday, the 10th of April 2017. Consequently, you are to hand over to Ms. Naa Torshie Addo by close of working day Monday, 10th of April 2017. Mr. Chairman, my sincere comment is that I think that as a country, we need to be able to treat each other fairly and to be able to treat each other like the Constitution has said in the use of our discretion. Having said this, obviously our sister and our colleague, she didn't appoint herself. So obviously she will not be in a position to answer any of this. But like I said, it's a comment that I think that must be registered because this
Honorable Chief Whip.
Let me just finish. I'm just ending, Mr. Chairman. I'm not putting false statement. That's why I read all the letters. Mr. Chairman, she's going to be the fourth. She's going to be the fourth administrator of Common Fund. And Mr. Chairman, all the two preceding Mr. Finn had to finish their term that ran over regimes. It's sad that today Mr. Finn has not been allowed to finish his term. I hope and pray that this doesn't continue. Now, my question to the
Honorable Chief Whip, you know that this is also the appropriate place for the statement. You could have made it on the floor of the House or as we do outside. I hope you do not encumber the administrator nominee by you answer questions which she has no control over. But I really hope that this does not overshadow what we are doing here today. But I encourage you to bring that matter up in the chamber to be debated because other members then will have the opportunity to speak to the issue. But very well. Let's please focus on the work we're doing here.
Yeah, very well, Mr. Chairman. That's why I said when I was about to conclude my comments was that it will not be fair to the nominee if I say she should make any comment on this. And I don't expect her to make any comment. I just want to register the processes and make the law listen. But I take your comment on good faith. When we get to the floor of the House, we'll get there. Honorable colleague, my questions. I just want to find out from you, what do you think specifically are the functions of the administrator of Common Fund?
I said specifically. If you ask her the question, the function of the administrator, I'm saying, what does she think specifically are the functions of the administrator of Common Fund?
Chairman, are you asking him what it is or what she thinks? Because the functions are given.
I'm saying that what is specifically, what are the functions of the administrator of Common Fund?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The function is to propose a formula be brought to Parliament for approval. When the formula is approved, distribute it to the assemblies. After that, write a report to Parliament of how these funds were used and any other assignments that the President will give to me. Thank you. We'll give.
You say any assignment the President will give you. I'm saying that I hear you say that any assignment the President will give you.
I corrected myself and said any assignment that the President will give to the administrator or myself, if you give me the nod. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, when I was looking through the nominee's CV, I realized that she didn't tell us which primary schools or primary school she attended. Well, Mr. Chairman, I can hear.
Kindly ignore the aside coming from the Honorable Minister for Education and his deputy. Ignore them.
Mr. Chairman, I hope you entreat those who come to listen to our proceedings that they cannot just be making any comments simply because somebody has asked questions that they may not be favorable to them. No, not him. Those sitting at the public gallery.
Oh, wow. You can see the public gallery.
Mr. Chairman, I was just asking. I didn't see her indicate which primary school or schools she attended on the CV. I was giving this is the one I'm giving.
Mr. Chairman, I think he doesn't have the correct. I think the first one I did, I omitted it, but I corrected it and it's been distributed. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, I've been given the revised CV. I just want to find out from the nominee. It looks like in the period she indicated she used in attaining her O and A level certificates is 8 years instead of 7 years. Is that correct?
It's 8 years because there was a break in a particular year.
Oh, what necessitated that?
I wanted to relax.
Well, I hope you'll not be relaxing as the administrator. Mr. Chairman, I want to find out from the nominee, when did she start acting as the administrator of Common Fund?
Mr. Chairman, I think sometime.
Wait.
Thank you.
Acting or being as administrator? We have not nominated you. We have not confirmed you here.
So government representative.
So, I want to be clear about the question.
Mr. Chairman, I thought the nominee understood the question. You were trying to answer. I don't know whether you were trying to answer the question. I said, when did she start?
I admit question.
Well, I agree. I was asking her, when did she start acting as an administrator of Common Fund?
I started representing the President in the office of the DACF sometime first week in April. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, the letter that was asked the gentleman before her to proceed on leave said, consequently, you are to hand over to Ms. Naa Torshie Addo by close of day, Monday, 10th April. In what capacity were you there?
Chairman, the letter said she should hand over to her by a certain date. It hasn't said that she has done anything. She was there or otherwise. She said she started going there as the president's representative. If that is what you want, she hasn't said it. But as for the specifics in the letter, she can't answer for them.
Mr. Chairman, I'm asking her, when did she, in what capacity was she there? I think this is a very simple question. Let her answer.
Wait, she just said she started going there as rep of the president. Do we want a repeat of that? Otherwise, if there's any other relating to the letter, I said that cannot be asked of her.
Mr. Chairman, is it possible for her to submit to this committee the letter that was given to her to serve in whatever capacity at the Administrator of Common Fund? Is it possible for the nominee to submit to this committee the letter that was given to her to serve in whatever capacity at the Administrator of Common Fund?
First, let me ask you, have you been given any letter to serve as administrator of the Common Fund?
I was given a letter to represent the president in the DCF. Yeah.
Can you finish the committee with a copy? Please do so.
Mr. Chairman, my last but one question, probably. I said last but one. I want to find out from the nominee whether since she got to the administrator, the office, in whatever capacity it was, whether she has signed any checks.
Mr. Chairman, yes, I have signed some checks. Members of Parliament's money.
What were you saying?
Oh, don't mind.
Because I heard the chairman talking, so I... Well, Mr. Chairman, you can see the intimidation from all the angles. I just want to say that I wish our colleague well in the new office.
Honorable Majority Chief Whip. All right. Honorable Minority Leader and Ranking Member.
Chairman, let me thank you for the opportunity and to wish our colleague Naa Torshie Addo well. As approved by Parliament, she would be administrator of the all-important Common Fund and to collaborate and work with the Ministry of Local Government and our Metro, Municipal and District Assemblies to fight poverty and to improve economic activities at the local level of our country. Irene, the letter we have from the President dated 2nd June 2017 says Irene Naa Torshie Addo. You are the same person?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
In your CV, and take a copy of your CV just to the very first page, when you have XMA and you have another X there, the X there can be misleading. Is it ex-military assistant or an executive master's you are talking about, or some X something? Watch it.
An executive master's, please.
You don't think that it's probably better to say so than just to say XMA?